I've had to go in there.
Yeah, exactly. We'll tweak it between rounds and hopefully line it up a little better
the
again.
Table cam has fallen over. He's got an escape, I believe.
Declaring.
And we're going in.
Yeah, a tandem. I think he had.
Is he visiting?
Maybe he drew that with Goku.
I guess that was the Goku draw. It's just kind of a bummer.
I think we have the hand cams flipped. I don't know how that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to?
Just, swap them. Oh, it's probably because, we pivoted the table. Like, I think that's
right.
Yeah.
Where's the...
So,
hate this
Anthony with an early escape to 2. That's not super critical in this matchup, but he will.
No, don't even do that. Just drag them physically.
Oh, drag them, you mean? Whoop. Oh, dear. Don't mind.
There we go.
God damn it.
Just click it on the view.
See?
All right, you got it.
Fixed.
Perfect.
Nick whiffs on a high kick here.
Problem solved.
I don't have his block line in front of me, but I wonder how often that was likely to miss, because you see that a lot with high kicks.
Sure.
But it is going to hit clean. So Anthony has the visiting. Which seems like a bad draw now, but it's never too bad to draw the dead draw defensively like that.
Yeah, especially
a light combat early.
Yeah, exactly. Early game, there's not too much on the line. Luckily, Nick didn't pull like a full-on unleash turn this combat.
Right, so you'll be able to take something strong into the next turn.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think...
For the high kick again.
We can even try to check to confirm this, but I don't think Nick runs any board control. Like, I think that visiting will happen at some point once it hits the table.
Nick's whiffed again with high kick.
Still hate that card.
I am totally agreeing with you. I don't hate it as a card, but I hate it in a lot of the decks.
Yes, yeah. I hate it when people...
Because you see this.
Yeah, exactly. We see people do their counts of, like, looking at the list and see what their block line looks like, and then there's, like, the odds of hitting something with that card are pretty
doubled
slim.
down, throwing good money after bad to Ruthless it and still miss.
Yeah.
But Anthony doesn't have a super strong hand here, so it's probably not going to come back to hurt him too much.
Calculating damage. I believe it'll do 5 stages.
Hey, Mike.
Anthony's really off to the races in terms of anger so far.
Sure.
So, like, shit has already gotten real.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gallic Final Flash Energy Blast.
Yeah, Anthony took a little damage that turn, but not...
That's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Not so much that, like, I would say the game is even.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he might even be slightly ahead considering he's 1 anger away from leveling.
And he's got the visiting queued up with a couple of targets to hit on it.
Yeah, there's no problem with taking minimal damage for early game. And like you said, especially now that he's got the visiting, he's got options for it.
As long as Goku's under level 3,
sure.
things are pretty good.
Yeah, if Goku had changed levels even once that turn, it would have been a way bigger deal. Like, that would have been definitive advantage, Nick.
It's an interesting call for Anthony here because Goku's at 0.
Sure.
It's still a Ruthless deck. You don't want to start poking the bear here, but it's possible to come in and hope to have a free combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that would be a little bit risky, especially with the visiting in hand.
Yeah. It looks like he's thinking about holding that visiting, and in some builds, that's kind of a cool idea when you plan to declare. In his deck, I don't think there's any way for him to cycle it. So, like, even if he declares this turn, I can't imagine why he wouldn't want it on the table.
Right.
Like, if you have other options to trade it for something else, there are plenely of situations where you'd want to keep it.
He does run Android Headbutts, which he doesn't have in hand and wouldn't have been really relevant, but...
Yeah. Because we were, like you said, we were looking at all these lists last night, and I don't think he has a single ability to cycle cards for new cards. Like, he could discard a card to a Headbutt, or to draw new cards in combat, so...
Yeah, it makes it really hard to run a lot of setup and board cards for the deck that can't cycle them in any way.
For certain.
Interestingly enough, again, so all the deck lists, neither of these red decks are running red relaxation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's very surprising, yes.
and like that's my I love the card anyway because
okay,
it's
he
great.
kept the final flash.
Yeah.
That's
I mean-
interesting. Did he kept the Galacon?
No, he rejuve the Galacon. He kept
Okay,
the final
so
flash.
that's the right play here.
For sure.
So the crits don't matter too much, and the final flash will lock you out of potential devastating actions.
Yeah, kind of a lot. Like it'll lock him out of Goku level 2. It'll lock him
Yes.
out of using the mastery. It'll lock him out of Unleashed, obviously. Confrontation.
All right, Nick's entering.
Come in hot.
Anthony wisely
Double
visiting.
escape.
2 escapes.
Tandem attack. Some other stuff hiding back there.
Blocking hand.
Goku might get some. Goku might get some levels here anyway.
Second final flash, blocking hand.
Wow.
No, I
Yep,
think
the
it's a
tandem
head.
attack's gonna get an extra draw.
I'm looking at Anthony's hand now.
Oh.
Goku throwing the tandem to net a draw
Right.
is pretty cool against Vegeta. Like, Anthony might have ever so slightly been regretting that visiting after that
Sure.
bit.
Surprised he didn't take the chance to Galacon or blocking hand here for the level. He's just gonna final flash for it.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Like,
I mean, he'll probably get the chance to use that blocking hand at some point.
sure, and it
Yeah.
like that preps him up for way more defense later
Right.
in the combat. So like he can take 1 or 2 physicals even,
Right.
and then blocking hand. If, like assuming he thinks Nick's hand is that stacked. and-
The way this combat is shaping out for Nick, he's gonna have a lot going for him in terms of draws. So Anthony's gonna be looking to end combat here with the Vegeta 3.
Yeah, for sure. If he hits 3 this turn, which seems pretty likely,
Right.
like he's getting the hell
Given
out of
what
here.
we know.
Yeah.
So that's the aerial assault.
Yeah. And again, like if-
Anthony even here could sequence.
Yeah, I would
to
think.
level up here and get out.
Yeah, I would think still probably take this one, but like considering it is Red Assault specifically, and that hit effect makes his stuff unpreventable,
Right.
maybe block it.
I mean, we know Anthony runs a lot of colorless cards, something like 26 out of 60. So
Yeah.
he can't necessarily bank on blocking hand, mastery, 2 anger level, and combat.
Yeah, and the idea here is he's reset his anger to 0, so he won't lose an anger from taking this.
Right.
It should put him at 4 above, so he won't lose the ability to perform any of the cards in his hand.
He does have another big energy cost attack in his hand. So he can't be too free and loose with stages. He's going to take it. Oh, I'm sorry, he does not.
I thought he had a second one, but
Yeah,
apparently
I
not.
was gonna say,
Okay,
I
you're right.
I don't know what
Our
you're
bad.
talking
That changes
about.
everything.
It's 2 mule kicks, a headbutt.
In any
and
case, his
blocking
hand
hand.
doesn't have any stage costs, so.
Yeah. And now he is set up to swing for the mastery level.
Oh, he can't mastery.
Oh, that's true.
He
He
final
final
flashed.
flashed, okay.
Yeah. So he's like,
So
yeah,
none of this
actually.
makes sense.
Y'all are a mess.
Yep.
Assuming Nick doesn't interact with him in any way, he can still net the level. But if Nick drops him even 1 anger,
Right. Which seems likely.
that's a pass for Nick.
Interesting.
Yep, Anthony happy
Right,
to get out of
route.
that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Goku has to go
So, yeah.
back down
So
because he
that was where the final flash paid off because Nick couldn't Ruthless Mastery or Goku 2 power.
Sure. I think it was a really smart. Or did Nick even have another action? But
I mean,
Looks like he had another.
yeah, he did. But
And
but
then
yeah,
he had
yeah,
double strike.
that was a pretty smart pass. Like I kind of like that actually.
Okay, he's going back down.
Yeah, Goku's back down to 1.
If Anthony had actually netted that anger from the that blocking hand, that would have been a huge swing
Right.
to like really put him ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see another combat here from Anthony with the final flash in hand and 2 anger.
What final flash?
He picked up another final flash.
Oh, okay.
Already going for the
Say
deck
already
count.
going for the deck count.
How much of a beating
Say
can
that's
I
in the
take?
neighborhood of 30.
That's a pretty safe hand to come in on too if you're just
Yeah.
trying to get to 3.
Yeah,
It also has a dashing punch. Is that in there as well?
No.
Resourceful block, blocking hand, final flash, and the
Oh
driving
right,
knee.
right. Yep, driving knee. Okay.
He's going for
I'll
it.
say he's on a
And he
mastery.
hits.
And it works. He gets
And that was actually a pretty big gamble considering Anthony's build. Like, I like that play a lot in red decks that run a thicker line of styled cards, but he's like 60-40 styled, so he's got like a really good chance to miss.
With the blocking hand in hand, he was kind of safe if it whiffed. But he would have given Nick an opportunity to unleash here as opposed to leading on the final flash. So
yeah. And I
a little
kind of expect him to get out here, but we'll see if he stays in.
Yeah, you got a crit with that.
So he's probably going to be thrilled to just kind of go home, take his blocking hand, and see what he comes up with next turn.
Yeah, net one more anger. Yeah, that's
this game
huge...
is going spectacularly for Anthony.
Right, that's another huge swing. Like, he's pulling ahead every single combat.
Right. And that's the power of not only Red Ascension, but also Vegeta.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think that's where some of the other decks like this have trailed off, is that they haven't been able to just bail combat whenever it's convenient.
Excuse me. There we go. Nick taking his time, contemplating a discard, which I don't mind at all. He's really on notice now to kind of try to make something happen.
Did you see what was in
Nick
Nick's
looking
hand?
over that hand?
I see some cards.
At least 2 red and 1.
I see a
Colorless.
very consternated look on his face.
Yeah, he doesn't look pleased.
Maybe I think that's a sphere. It's a new heroic sphere. I think a stop or red catch. That's what it is. That block. Yeah, that's
Pastor Juve.
Understandable.
Dev blow.
Dashing punch, shoulder grab.
It's a solid hand.
Yeah.
Especially at Vegeta level 3. Like, I don't think. I don't.
Oh, he held on.
It'll really depend on Nick's hand. If he is forced into a situation where Anthony enters and he has to block that dashing punch, being able to do it twice,
like that's terrifying.
That's like a whole level maybe, without Nick being able to interact really at all.
I like this declare
2
here.
confrontations, a static
mastery,
shot.
hits it again.
Nice.
Right now, Nick is terrified of a final flash. It's not going to happen, but
yeah, say no final flash, no restriction. So okay, he'll take it. Yeah, that's definitely the better.
You don't want to let that stick around.
Right,
again.
the better scenario. Yeah, that would have been a little much to deal with at this point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Anthony doesn't have the 2 anger card in hand to secure a level now, but
sure, but hopefully Nick will lead with a confrontation. You would definitely think so, because any attack into that blocking hand will net Anthony the level he needs and like come really close to clinching the game.
So Nick's gonna probably hit this devastating blow and then confrontation again with the other blocking hand, and then do whatever he wants with what he has left.
Yeah, I don't think this will be a huge turn for Nick, but he'll be able to. He should be able to lock him at level 3, so that's not nothing.
Although he'll get the level at the end of the turn, which is maybe an advantage for Nick.
Get rid of that, and also get it out of here.
Put it on the pile.
He's got a couple of styled cards in his hand, so he'll be able to knock him down a couple anger.
Yeah, if this had been another restriction or final flash turn,
right, very different.
I think they're passing out.
Interesting.
Huh.
He might not have had the stages.
Say, did he
to
not
play
have an
those
attack?
attacks.
Did he not have a
think he
different
had any
attack? All right, I
stages.
thought he had maybe a
That's
physical.
very
but-
unfortunate for him.
Yeah, because the dashing
punch put him at
punch and
0.
then shoulder grab would have
So he was still locked out of action.
Okay.
ended up still coming up pretty positive for Anthony.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Nick was going to be able to play at least one action that turn. That
some
changes
games
everything.
Everything goes your way, and this looks like one of them for Anthony so far.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. And Nick's going like, and absolutely, technically, he has to make something happen, but like having to enter here with
without an unleashed in hand.
Yeah, without an unleashed with Nick or with Anthony not actually having anger on the board.
And energy defense.
This Gallop Gun is not terribly relevant for this matchup.
I know. It's funny.
Yeah, Nick contemplating that static shot because it might be the only chance he gets to throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 2 stages could go away at any second.
Right.
I think he's got maybe 2 blocking hands.
Let's see that, or save it as your mastery pull.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not seeing what else is in his hand.
He's got an
Inferno.
1 blocking hand at least, maybe 2. I think it's 2.
Yeah.
A little more defensive of a hand than you two Ruthless play, but Anthony's been throwing so many attacks. Those dashing punches are no joke.
Yeah, I don't fault him at all for taking his time with this decision.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that a jump kick? His last card? Swish him around again. I can no longer tell.
2 blocking hands, an Inferno, and...
Or is that Red Duck?
That's
something.
That's a jump kick. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the level to put him down.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, you're right.
You both just drop, so even if he's at level 1, he can drop Anthony a level if it hits.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the
that
would also end combat.
That's true too, and that's gonna detach that Red Inferno. So kind of a wasted action, unfortunately. Nick couldn't have known that.
Yeah, he drew another card.
All right, here we go.
And I think it's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit. So Anthony will probably still get out, but we'll see.
Right. Well, Anthony, because he lowered on Nick's action, he'll get a phase, and then Nick will have to pass.
And then have to pass, yeah.
So he can even
That's an excellent point.
Make an action, pass.
Still going to net a lot of anger.
Like what we're going to see here.
Yep, okay.
Skip. Galacon for an anger. And then that'll probably end combat, so he'll
going to
come
do
out
a
with
lot.
3 anger. And he's put out a lot of damage, too, at this point.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, but he drew a stop off of that Inferno. I think that's it. Yeah. So, I mean...
Presumably, you'd think, since combat's about to end here, he'll just drop the block.
Yeah. 9 total. He might.
He's counting
out.
So I believe he will get to use it twice if he blocks it still, because it would be his first stopped.
But if combat ends...
Sure, but I mean,
he would have to forfeit his
Nick's deck is so low. Maybe Anthony will just throw it a second time.
Shift gears and just kind of throw some attacks.
Punch, punch, punch.
Anger went out the window, but he's they got the lead in life deck now. Like, why not push the advantage?
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
And he's taking it.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm not sure. If anything, it probably just cost Anthony an anger, because I'm pretty sure he would have stayed in and just thrown it again.
I don't know. Nick still has a lot of cards in his hand. Anthony doesn't know what they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're talking about mastery and that pass sequence.
You got skipped and then you got passed.
He didn't have an action yet, so they skipped an action, and then once he got an action, he has to pass it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Vegeta. You and your silly tricks.
Yeah, Nick's kind of on life support here.
Yeah.
Anthony's still within, not immediate striking distance, but certainly viability of MPP victory.
Right.
And he's way ahead on life lead, so... yeah, Nick's fighting a losing battle right now, but it's only game 1, so honestly, like at this point, I don't think Nick's gonna come back from this game, but he really just needs to maintain his composure for game 2.
Right.
Like if he gets rattled and starts making mistakes,
3.
yeah, exactly. That'll be that, but
he's going.
At this point, Anthony just needs to avoid any just major catastrophes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which
and Nick's
is
deck
still
is
a Ruthless Goku deck, which can still just kind of pull it out of the hat any kind of time.
Yeah, but Nick's deck is so small, like we don't know what his unleashed count is
might not
left.
have
We
any
don't know.
attached
We don't know if he has
cards
attached
left,
cards left.
So we'll see what Anthony ends up going for here.
He's going for
With
mastery.
the mastery, he's hit it every time.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy considering his counts on cards. Like
He's been playing a lot of colorless cards though.
Right.
Like he's been drawing them.
sure.
So.
It's something like 26 cards.
Yeah.
So he's got the skip, the pass from level 4. He might end combat again.
And yeah, even at this point, like any combat might put deck within like might put Nick within death range,
Right.
life tech count wise. So looking at those piles.
Always be checking.
Like you said, he's got to see if he even has attached cards left to pull.
And again, no time limit, so everybody,
yeah.
I encourage them to take as much time as they need.
Yeah.
For sure, especially late game.
Oh, so
like,
he drew his last Unleashed.
Hmm.
He's got it in hand. The other two are in his discard.
I think he's looking to see if he's any
No,
attached
yeah,
cards
I know.
here.
yeah, this is the one case specifically where I would have brought a notepad. Like if I were Nick, I would have liked to be making, since there's no time limit, I would have been like to
especially for all 3 games.
Yeah, to be making notes on quantities of stuff at this point of the game. Like he could totally deduce most or all of his life deck, like his remaining cards,
Right.
if he takes a little time and tries to figure that stuff out. At least the very important stuff for sure.
He's taking it. And then he passes.
And Anthony's out.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. At combat ends, discard
he's
cards in
trying to
play,
figure out
then
where-
discard down.
Double strike there. So he should be at 2 anger, right?
If
From
you
the
gain
mas-
one,
He gained one from the double strike. Unless he got because he leveled up off of mastery and then gained one from the double strike, so he should
Yes.
be at 2.
he might have missed his,
Yeah, he
his
might have
mastery
he
trigger
might have missed that mastery trigger, but
Mm.
again, like he's probably so
I mean-
locked in on life
Right.
deck at this point that it kind of doesn't matter.
Nick still has to discard down anyway.
That could be true. He's just waiting for the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Although technically,
It would
it's
be,
a slight
yeah.
missequence, but
He's technically past that point because it is end of combat. So yeah, Nick thinking real hard. I think he's only got like 5 or 6 cards left. That's not a lot.
much, yeah.
Not a lot of life deck.
Yeah, he's just
And
not gonna
draw.
do it. Whatever, that's fine. Man, he's been stage pressured hard this
Yeah, I think-
game.
that's definitely caught him off guard with all the physical attacks knocking him down.
Mm-hmm. He got literal blinding.
Well,
Static shot. Energy defensive stance. Blinding.
yep.
Yeah,
That's the game.
That's gonna do it. So,
And again, yeah.
Anthony